Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the new Extreme Z battle that has just come out on Dbz Dokkan battle for the Namek Saga Super Saiyan Goku TUR. So this is the transforming TUR Namek Saga Goku, and basically we're going to be taking a look at his Extreme Z battle and whatever you need to do for his Extreme Z battle. So obviously he requires you to take on the event with full power category units. You also need to take on with extreme or super AGL type units. You'll receive a stone for every stage that you clear, while also receiving some strength Kais as well. You will also, of course, get some rewards from the missions, which is all pretty good. Now, obviously, Goku himself, there was a little bit of backlash, I guess, regarding his EZA, but overall, he looks pretty impressive to me. His leader skill gets bumped up to 170% across the board, which is obviously pretty damn good. Then you get his super attack now raises allies defense by 30%. Which is obviously very, very solid. He has had a big buff in his attack and defense, jumping from 77% to 150%, while also having attack and defense of plus 30% with each attack received. So he improves himself a lot more than what he used to. He also has an improved Super Saiyan form, going from 80% to 180%, and with a whole bunch of additional buffs. We'll talk a little bit more about his Extreme Z Awakening details just now, but basically full power category is best taken on with obviously full power leads. Now in terms of full power leads, you have the SS4 Goku, you have the LR Strength Frieza, who also got his Extreme Z Awakening, and you have the physical Broly. Now I wouldn't use the physical Broly because he in essence is not a great option due to the fact that he has type disadvantage. You can definitely build a team with full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. That'll be a pretty decent side, but I'm going to use or build a team that can utilize a friend LR AGL full power Frieza. Now full power Frieza is going to be your best unit in this stage because not only is he AGL and full power, but he also has guaranteed critical hits against the opposition. So Frieza is very, very strong in that regard. In terms of free-to-play options, a lot of them are physical, so although you can use some of them, a lot of them are just going to be a hindrance as you push further along into the event. It's not like they're going to fail you, but it is just going to take you a very long time. So instead of my usual build, where I kind of show you guys as much of a free-to-play team as possible, I'm going to try and show you the most convenient team possible to utilize. If you do not have any full power leads, and if you do not have the LR AGL full power Frieza. So the team I'm using runs with a Extreme Tech Frieza. He's obviously 130% Extreme type lead. After his EZA, you don't have the EZM, it will help you out, but it's not necessary to complete this EZA. And then from that point onwards, we're mainly rolling with sworn enemies. This team that I'm using now for this first fight will be adjusted slightly to accommodate the leader skill of the AGL full power Frieza a bit better. But we have the World Tournament Demon King Piccolo. He's involved in the mix, a very solid unit that's just good defensively. He's not going to do any crazy damage, but he is going to be pretty reliable when it comes to tanking and just kind of holding his own essentially in the event. Then of course we also have, or we will be using, the LR in Cell throughout the duration of the event. He's a very, very solid unit. He brings a heal, but mainly he's just relatively solid throughout the entire kind of event. He doesn't really let me down that much, and generally speaking he's a very solid, reliable option that can get the job done. So Cell is pretty decent. We then follow that up with the AGL Golden Frieza. The Easy 8 one, obviously just a fantastic tank for the event. We then have the Golden Frieza Angel. We've gone with the Int Golden Frieza Angel, although we could possibly go with a slightly different one. And then we've also used the Int Perfect Cell. So we have changed the team slightly. Obviously, this is just to suit the Sworn Enemies leader skill of the Namek Saga Frieza. It was pretty difficult to find Namek Saga Frieza leads in the beginning, so you'll see for these next 2 rounds I was utilizing a Turles, and then I utilized a LR Strength Cooler. So you can see things obviously were a little bit dire when the event first came out. A lot of people hadn't set their leads, and I obviously have to try and get the footage ASAP to try and record it during lunch. So yeah, but otherwise it was a perfectly acceptable run. Everything went more than fine. So obviously just talking about Goku's Extreme Z Awakening, as I mentioned, his Super Saiyan form also got a buff with the ability, he gained 180% attack and defense, which is obviously great. He also has Ki +3 now, which really helped him out in terms of his link set. He's then also got plus an additional defense of 59% when HP is less than 77% health, which is pretty solid, plus an additional 59% attack for the rest of the battle after receiving an attack. He still only has a medium chance of guarding all attacks, and when that guard is activated, he will have guard against all attacks and a high chance of performing a crit when it's activated for 4 turns instead of 3. So generally speaking, he did get buffed. It will be interesting to see how good he is, because obviously he's very dependent on his guard activating. Should his guard activate, he is pretty much good to go for 4 turns. I would have liked to see them make him maybe greatly raise defense. I think if I had to make one change right off the bat, I would probably say greatly raise defense. And the reason being is that when you switch to Goku, generally it's only when you're quite low, below health, and his defense can actually be technically lower than his base form on the first instance of switching. So for me, I would personally have made it greatly raising defense. Would have just made him catch up a little bit more and be a little bit more reliable overall as a Easy A unit. Now of course we are taking on stage 20. As you can see, the bosses are now immune to ceiling effects. I want to preface this by saying that if you have a LR AGL Frieza, so if you have an LR AGL Namek Saga Frieza, please use him. He makes this run so much easier. I obviously am not using mine because I'm trying to showcase how you can get through the stage or this event without having him. But if you have him or you have the full power one, just generally, if you have any good full power units, please feel free to use them. Don't copy this build exactly just because you see that it works. Having 2 LR AGL full power freezes would essentially make this whole event trivial, and you would very easily finish this in pretty much almost half the time it took me to finish this event. Like, that is how long it will take you to finish this. And yeah, but I mean, Cooler does a pretty decent job. Obviously Cooler's not on the full power team, so he's just doing damage through brute force and critical hits. In terms of making an alternative team, so if you are maybe struggling, you can't make an extreme version like this to make use of LR AGL Frieza, there's a lot of decent options. You've got the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan Youth, who leads Kamehameha. That's a great category to utilize because you have a ton of Gokus underneath there. You've got a ton of Gokus. I mean, you literally have the Tech LR Goku, you have the Int LR Namek Goku, the Strength Kaioken Goku. You have a ton of Gokus all over the place. If you are struggling with that, you can go for a full Pure Saiyans build. You can utilize the Pure Saiyans led AGL Super Saiyan Blue Evolving Vegeta. You can use the Int Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. You can use the AGL Super Saiyan Goku, the transforming unit. There are plenty of really solid team builds that you can kind of go with. Powerful Comeback under the tech STR Goku. You can run SSBE Vegeta. You can run a whole bunch of units. And just, yeah, generally speaking, you can have a pretty easy, pretty solid time in terms of the event. You've got Broly's, you've got LR Full Power Broly's. I did show the strength LR Full Power Broly in the beginning. Obviously a unit that does a tremendous amount of damage when you are facing Pure Saiyan enemies. So he's a really good pickup if you are looking at, you know, obviously bringing in some other kind of power. There's the Int Broly. I mean, there are so many different units to utilize. I personally find utilizing the LR AGL Freezer is the best method if you don't have a very good full power team. But if you are able to kind of work around that, then of course you can use a Pure Saiyans team, a Kamehameha team, a Goku's Family team, Powerful Comeback team. There's so many different team builds you can actually run. Your best bet is just to maximize the AGL units, and yeah, in that case, the best bet would be to obviously, you know, use something like a Kamehameha team because of the fact that you have all those AGL options. Gohan himself is a very strong AGL option. Pure Saiyans is also a very acceptable team with the Super Saiyan 2 Kale and Caulifla. So you have a ton of great options that you can use. And yeah, realistically, you shouldn't have like a huge problem with the event. But if you are struggling with the event, remember to always look at possibly EZAing the LR Strength Freezer if you need to. You can look at picking up a couple EZAs for other units, maybe a couple free-to-play units, especially if you're running a Saiyan Saga team or a Pure Saiyans team, I should say. You can run pretty solid Super Saiyan 2 Kaba, Super Saiyan 2 Kale, Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla. You can run a whole bunch of options. So yeah, obviously we have gotten to the final stage. We are now facing Goku. At this point he's immune to Sealing, Stunning, Attack Lowering, Defense Lowering, etc. There are a couple missions for this event, for beating stage 10 in under 1 minute 20, for beating stage 20 or higher in under 1 minute 50, and for using a full power unit beyond stage 20. We'll take a look at them. We do complete them all with this team, which is fine. You can see how quickly this event can be taken out by this freezer, because this one just pops off and he basically finishes the fight for us at this point. So yeah, you can really see like how insane Frieza is as a unit, because he just decimates this event. And that's why I say if you have 2 of these Friezas, you can finish this event in literally a quarter, if not more of the time. It took me like an hour, especially in the beginning. Finding friend units was terrible, but then there was a whole bunch of LR AGL Friezas, and the last 5 stages literally took about 6 minutes, because that's just like how strong Frieza is as a unit. Like you can see here, this Frieza does more than fine, but yeah, we just can do so well with that AGL Frieza. He just essentially eliminated Goku, and we finished the final stage in the shortest time out of all of the stages I've shown, just because we had a friend LR AGL Frieza. So yeah, that is stage 30. Obviously you would have received some Grand Kais as well. Should be more than enough to get Goku to 15 in his EZA. And yeah, there's a couple reward stones as well, 5 of them, or 4 of them to be exact, sorry. And yeah, they're just for speed challenges and for completing with full power units. You should be able to easily get that done with this team. As long as you bring a friend LR AGL Frieza, you've basically done all of the hard graft. But yeah, and that's it. We're obviously now just going to Extreme Z Awaken Goku, who I am fortunate enough to have at a rainbow. And then what we'll do is we will Extreme Z Awaken him, and then I will use him in a review video at some point. Probably the next day, because it's just a lot easier. But that's going to be it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment if you need any more help, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, stay safe, and bye.